Hi, horses. Hola. Bonjour. Ni hao. 我会说中文一点儿。Hello. I took Chinese in middle school and high school. This is getting weird. Okay. Y'all ready to talk to this guy? Destiny League refugee? I know. I know things are rough over there for you guys. It's the same guy as last time, yeah. All right. He quit or he got fired? Well, we're going to let him tell. I'll let him tell us. Hello.
Max, hello.
Do you want me to use your name?
Sure, yeah, that's fine. I don't mind.
Hello, Josh.
Hello, Max.
Okay. I'm getting you situated. Getting you situated in your spot here. Get a little of your toaster oven in the shot.
Hell yeah, I love the toaster oven. Cook
I
steaks
can,
in it.
yeah, I can tell. I can tell a lot about you just from your toaster oven.
Yeah.
Let me brighten things up a bit. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay. Well,
Is my video losing its mind?
no.
Okay. It's just on my end. Cool.
Yeah, you look good, nice and clear. Sounds
There we
good. I'm just trying to find some parity here. Okay. Do you want any involvement from the chat here? Are you looking at the chat?
go. No, I'm not looking at the chat because I'd probably lose my shit more
Don't
than
look
I
at the chat.
probably already am.
Don't
Okay.
ever look at the chat. Do you want any input from them? Like, do you want me to, if they have a question for you, do you want me to relay it to you, or should we exclude them from this?
Yeah, I think I'm open to questions from the chat as long as they're not like shit tier questions.
Well, I
That's
wouldn't pass along a shit tier question.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. I should trust you, Max.
You should. You already have at this point.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, at the end we'll specifically take questions. But if I see something, particularly poignant, I'm not gonna look at chat too much, but it'll be there. Okay.
Turn the fucking phone off. Cool.
Oh. I gotta turn your levels up a little bit. Okay. So, let's start where we left off. So we talked. You said you felt weird about some things. You had some concerns about Dr. K, but you also hadn't really seen too much of his content. You were a healthy gamer coach at the time. Your goal was to get your clients into therapy, and you saw maybe a net good, but also felt, let's say, queasy about some aspects of being a coach, a healthy gamer coach. And then there was an internal email sent out, seemingly mostly about you and that interview, where they said everyone's allowed to go talk to whoever they want. It's if we're open and free and transparent, but also we might fire that coach for doing that. We're reviewing, and maybe we're going to fire you for talking. And if you have other concerns, let's keep it all in-house. And we don't have to answer to anybody who isn't our client or it doesn't work for us. Basically, let's keep everything internal, and everybody on the outside looking into this fuck you, you don't understand. I'm paraphrasing, but that seemed to be the gist of the email.
Yeah. I was actually surprised when you got the email because you got it pretty quickly. I was like, holy shit. He's talking to someone else.
I think I'm in. That's okay. You could be hurt. I think. I was hurt too. I was like, wow, Josh didn't send this to me right away. Weird. I think I'm talking to 5 healthy gamer coaches, some past, some current. I don't want to give the exact breakdown, but yeah.
Feel you. Yeah, no, that email, it was interesting because as I was going through my email, right? I was that night I was writing up a letter terminating my contract with Healthy Gamer, just letting them know hey,
already.
Yeah, I was like, hey, this, because I kind of felt bad about the interview. I took I don't know, 7 showers in 2 days. It was really weird. I've never done that.
Mr. Girl don't come off that easy.
No. And it was a really weird thing. Because I felt kind of like Brutus, right? Like I'm stabbing Caesar in the back, and it's like, wait, hold on, chill out for a second. It's not really what went on, and so I decided, when I sent my letter of termination, they reached out to me and they said, hey, don't do anything rash. This was after they had already sent the email out, like, hey, don't do anything rash. Yeah, and Dr. K thinks you're a good coach. We should think about this before making any decisions. Let's talk. And so we had a conversation, and it went well. And for a moment there, I thought I was going to keep doing the coaching.
Wait. Can I
go ahead?
Can I ask you to tell me what happened in that conversation?
Sure. We just talked about the interview, right? Pretty much what was going through my mind. Why did I go there? And my whole thing was yeah, I'm not looking to shit stir. I was just trying to help them, understand the coaching side of things. I didn't go in prepared and all that. And, I caught a little bit of flack for going to the interview, but it wasn't that much. It was more like, hey, you don't have any media training. You were obviously super nervous. Things could have went better. That's pretty much the gist of it. You did come up, of course. You're gonna come up, and the big question there was like, why would I go interview with you? Fucking shooter, fucking bullshit, pedophile.
Pedophile. That's okay.
Yeah,
Who asked you that?
um the CEO. Yeah,
Dr. K or Crudy?
no, Crudy, his wife.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dr. K was in the conversation or just her?
no, he was not in the conversation. No.
Okay, so she asked why you would talk to Mr. Girl, and did she actually call me a pedophile?
She didn't call you a pedophile. No, she just brought up like, you know, the fact that you've got the pedophile stink on you. And in the moment I was like,
how did she phrase it?
um, she phrased it. She phrased it like, something along the lines of who in their right mind would go interview with someone who's, what is it, suspected of being a pedophile and you know, the school shooter stuff. I can't
No one.
exactly remember.
The answer is
Yeah,
no
no
one would
one.
do that. Yeah.
No one in their right mind. The issue I had with that, and I kind of wish I had this at the ready at the time, is like, well, I don't think you're a, school shooter sympathizer. I mean, kinda. Not
Empathizer. I
sympathizer.
prefer
Empathizer.
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 Yeah.
Not sympathizer. Yeah, empathizer. And I don't think you're a pedophile. Like, I've watched enough of your content to know for, 99.999% sure that you're not a pedophile. I mean, fucking there you go. As
That's
sure
pretty
as
good.
I can be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw your thing on TikTok, and I was like, oh yeah, this dude ain't a pedophile.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
TikTok's got to stop grooming children.
They do have to stop grooming children.
Okay, so continue. She said, "Why in your right mind would you talk to Mr. Girl?" And
Yeah.
what'd you say?
And I was like, yo, like I said at the time, I was kind of like thrown aback by the question, because I felt like my integrity was being questioned, and I kind of like shifted to that. And
Okay.
that was it. Yeah.
And then
I did a bad job of defending myself too there. It was fine. No big deal.
Okay. So where did that conversation leave things?
It left things with pretty much, hey, you've still got a job. You're good at what you do, and you should keep doing it.
And their metric for what you being good is client satisfaction.
Client satisfaction, yeah. Pretty much, just surveys after each session, that kind of shit. Yeah.
Surveys after each session. Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. And then what?
And then I thought about it a bit, and I decided that I was. I think I decided that I was done. It wasn't the interview that got me to quit. It wasn't even the conversation that got me to quit. It was just a bunch of other shit in there that made me feel weird. It's a weird job. It's a tough job. I don't think I would want to do it again.
While respecting and protecting all the anonymity of all clients, can you give any more details about the weird shit that you're talking about?
Yeah, there's like there's the boring aspect of it, right? And what I mean by that, some of the weird shit is boring. Kind of like having a huge fucking client load. At one point, I was, working with about 50 plus people, some in groups, a lot of them in personal sessions and stuff like that. And
Oh, so that's like, how many hours a week of you doing coaching is that?
I think at my height, I was doing at my greatest workload, I was doing about 30 personal clients and like 20 group clients. It was like 36 hours or something like that, damn near full time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I think full time for a therapist normally is something like 3 to 5 a day, I think, something like that. So that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's not therapy, of course, but that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there are just like rough conversations to have too. You're talking to people about. So this is this is where shit gets a little more spicy, and a little more. I was kind of tired of having conversations about like, you know, things like abuse and fucking mental anguish and fucking stuff like that. I kind of got tired of it. That's not really what I signed up for.
That's not what they advertise.
No. So the way going in and of course I was a little naive. I should have realized like, hey, what clients are going to be looking for is the Dr. K experience. Um, what they see on stream is kind of what they want. They want that catharsis. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them come looking for that, especially when you hear things like, X% reduction in anxiety, X% reduction in, depression.
Work the magic.
Yeah, work the magic. And a lot of clients thought I had it, and that's cool. But I didn't. I didn't enjoy that part. That's not the part I enjoyed. I enjoyed the really boring shit. I enjoyed working with like this one client who um couldn't find a job in the middle of the pandemic, and I said, "Hey, let's take a look at your resume." And then we took a look at their resume, fixed it up a bit, and then they were getting like call after call. And that was really fun for me. Like, it's boring, it seems boring compared to all the abuse shit, but I like that.
Because you can help. That's like it's like a
Yeah.
big brother kind of relationship where you can like
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Um, and like, I know one of the big questions I had when talking to people about things like abuse was like, yo, what if I like re-traumatize someone? What if in having this conversation, I open up some old wounds that I can't fucking close, right? Like, I'm not a therapist, so I can't really help with that. I don't have the tool set for that.
Somebody pointed out to me the other day, you also don't have the tools to defend yourself against it. Like the coaches are in kind of endangered themselves if
Yeah.
you're stomping around people's trauma, and don't understand how to hold those ethical boundaries or protect yourself or have like the kind of resources that a therapist would have access to.
Yeah, so I somewhat agree with that. I think I mostly agree with that. Uh, you know, Mainly because the ethics and boundaries training was minimal. It was like it was enough to get the concepts in your head, but definitely not enough to help you learn to compartmentalize. And I don't know if ethics and boundaries training should do that, but I think uh, I think something should help you compartmentalize.
I mean, all the training is minimal. It's only 8 weeks, right?
Uh, True. It's pretty short training.
I saw the contract. I'm not a lawyer, and I haven't had an employment lawyer look at it yet. That's on my to-do list. It seems to imply that if you are not paid to train, and in fact, in doing your training, you incur a debt to Dr. K
Yeah. Oof.
of about $20,000, so something around there. And if you quit or even are fired in your first year, it looks like Dr. K has the right to, or Healthy Gamer has the right to retroactively charge you for your training. Is that true? That's my understanding.
That's your understanding. I mean, am I allowed to talk about contract shit? I have no fucking clue.
I really, really doubt they're going to sue you for talking
Yeah.
about it, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well, I mean, my job's done on the line already.
Yeah.
I'm already gone, so I'm chilling
I
there.
think
But no,
all this. I mean, I already have the contract, so all
yeah.
this is going to be published publicly. So you could here. How's
Oh,
this?
okay.
I can send you the contract if you
Hmm.
want, and then you can respond to that, and then
I mean, I know what contract you're talking about. Yeah, it seems like Yes, that's the thing. I don't think they've ever used it, and people have
But it's in there. Yeah, from what I've heard,
it's definitely in there.
no, it's never been used. But technically, you incur a debt to Healthy Gamer when you train with them to be a coach. That
Yeah.
you owe them something. And I remember $20,000, but that might not be the right number. Does that
Hmm.
sound about right to
No,
you?
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And then if you do something they don't
$10,000.
like, they have that hammer they can drop on you, which
Hmm.
I don't know how enforceable that would be, but they do have people sign something saying that they can charge you after the fact.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And my understanding is you're being charged for the education that is the
The
training.
education, the
Yeah,
certification. Yes.
the certification. The yeah.
Yeah. The
Which, by the
chat's
way,
going. The chat is not a fan of this policy, by the way. Just to give you an
yeah,
idea of the temperature here.
I'm not a fan of the policy either,
Well, I don't
to
know
be
why
honest.
you would be.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Um, I'll leak the contract. I'll tweet the contract out tonight, guys. I'll tweet it out after this conversation.
There you
Oh, they're asking if you signed an NDA.
go. Did I sign an NDA? I mean, y- yes, regarding like
The
proprietary
content of
stuff.
the training. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Okay. So the next question is, oh, was there other stuff that made you quit? You said feeling like you want to be a
Yeah.
coach and not a therapist, basically, and feeling kind of in over your head.
Yes. So the stuff where it kind of felt a bit like I was crossing the line into therapy that made me want to quit. I enjoyed doing more of the life coaching stuff. It was weird because when we started this, I was part of the first two cohorts, which pretty much started at the same time. I think the only difference there was like the days you trained or whatever. Um, but we I think the initial contracts we signed were for one thing, and then it became like life coach, and then it became like mental health coach, and it got pretty confusing, right? It's like, okay, this thing keeps getting redefined, at least the title, which for me, I mean, I
Okay,
think
sorry.
it's
Well,
pretty
tell me
important.
the different
Go ahead.
titles.
Yeah, it was like recovery coach, life coach, and then mental health coach. If you go on the website today, you can find like stuff regarding to mental health coach.
Okay, so now the official line is mental health coach.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
If you go to the website, that's what it says.
okay,
There you go.
got it. Okay, and then anything else, or what happened before you decided to
Oh
leave?
yeah. So yeah, and pretty much the other reason I decided to leave were like compassion fatigue. It's a fancy word for burnout.
Hmm.
You know,
I
when
mean,
when you're helping
fucking
people.
40 hours a week. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then like I gained 80 pounds doing this shit. Before that, I was because the burnout like fucking sucked my soul out, man. Um, for me, dealing with people's shit like that, it was pretty rough. And I had gained a bunch of weight
You're putting that
during
toaster
during
oven to
college.
work.
And I no, that was the problem, not
Oh, you
putting the
weren't
toaster
cooking. You were
I
ordering it
wasn't
out.
cooking. I was
Yeah,
ordering a lot of food, yeah.
gotcha.
Because it was too much, yeah, cooking, even putting shit in the toaster oven, too
It's
much
self
energy.
care. Yeah, yeah. I understand. It's
Yeah,
exhausting if
yeah,
you're burnt out.
yeah. And then depression and all that shit, you know. But that was kind of somewhat related, and then also other shit in life. Pretty much, I was an emotional mess. Uh, you know, during my last, I don't know, couple of months at Healthy Gamer, and I quit once, I went back, and then I quit again right after our interview.
So some subconscious part of you might have wanted me to get you fired to free you.
Possibly,
It's possible.
maybe
Just a
it's possible.
theory.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So
game
so you
changer.
decided to how so you decided to quit, and then what happened?
Hmm. Um, well, I when I decided to quit, someone reached out again. and they're pretty much like, hey, don't quit. Lower your client load. Do all this stuff. Just work with a few clients if you can. Because again, you're good at what you do. You like working with clients and all that stuff. And for me, the I think the compassion fatigue part, I no longer give a shit about uh certain clients, and like that hurts to say.
Yeah.
Um, but like at one point, I think like one thing that we've got in common is I used to do personal training too back in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And sometimes there are people who are just like bullshitting, and you kind of
Yeah.
get tired of working with them. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
same.
that when people don't want to make progress or don't want to work on themselves and are
Yeah,
stuck in like a cycle,
yeah,
that's the most exhausting type of client for sure. Yeah.
yeah, 100%. And that's where I was with some clients, and I just did not want to go through that ever again. Never want to go through that again. So yeah, so they reached out. They're all like, "Hey, chill out, stay." And then I quit, and I already had another job lined up. Um, Prior to that, I mean, I was already working this other job, and yeah, that's why you can
Um,
never catch me at 6 p.m. Eastern time.
right,
I'm
right,
working.
right. I figured. Uh, can you tell us how much money they paid you?
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's illegal for them to keep me from talking about my money. So, but
Well, do you want to,
y-
I guess? The
yeah,
better
no,
question.
yeah. So starting off, I was making $20 an hour, or not an hour, but a session, right? $20 a session. Um,
And a session is
and then
1 hour
about an
or
hour. Yeah, it's 50
50 minutes?
minutes, and
Okay.
then 10 minutes to do like paperwork and shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and then after that, after a while, I was getting paid after you get a level up. I was getting paid $25 a session.
Okay.
Um, and there are also like bonus incentives and shit for like the number of clients you take on and stuff like that. And I think the bonuses helped to increase that pay by quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the pay was decent. I think the fuck I here's another reason I left, because we just don't have because coaches are contractors, you don't
Right.
get benefits. And
Right.
like I need benefits because my fucking mental health is in the gutter, and my like fucking physical health is in the gutter. So I can't keep working this fucking job.
Hmm.
If if I'm looking at this job uh honestly, and I once worked for Lyft for like 2 fucking weeks, and I realized like it was a huge money sink.
Yeah, I
You're
did that
not
too.
making the amount of money that you think you're making.
Right.
Yeah, and pretty much it was the same thing with Healthy Gamer. Once I took my healthcare and my mental health care into account, I was like, holy shit, um, I'm losing a lot of money on this. It's not $20 an hour.
No.
Yeah, yeah. So the lack of a compensation package that is more than just your wage. That was another reason I left. Uh,
Okay. And what was the reaction when you said, no, I'm done?
the reaction was pretty much like, "Hey, you're welcome back um, anytime, and just let me know." And I said, "Won't be back, but okay." And that was that. After that, I pretty much I didn't even need them to revoke my privileges to stuff. I revoked my own privileges. I just you know closed my accounts down, whatever that means, on Discord. Left servers and shit. Yeah.
Next time you're in a situation like that, you can just send me the credentials, but for this time, that's okay.
There
Um,
you go.
okay. Um, Trying to think of the best direction.
Hmm. You mind if
Uh,
I say something really quick?
no.
Yeah, cool. Like I think that maybe I should have said this at the start. I know, um, you know, talking to you, Dr. K, I know we're not gonna be on, speaking terms after this, probably. Like 90% certain that won't ever happen again. And same thing to a lot of the coaches. Probably don't like me all that much because you think that, a lot of people think that Max is unfairly targeting, attacking Dr. K and all that shit. And hey, I get it. That's how you feel. And this second interview probably is gonna feel way more negative than the last one, but that's because 'cause I'm not here to, well, just like in the last one, I'm not necessarily here to fucking, defend Dr. K. I'm not here to attack Dr. K either. Just here to speak my fucking
Wait a second. You're cutting out.
yeah, fuck.
I think your mic is maybe your input sensitivity. Yeah, or you could just move it closer.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Is that
Everything
better?
after this is going to be a little more less something than last the first interview.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be, and it's gonna sound entirely negative when compared to the first interview, just because I'm not, like I said, I I'm not here to defend anyone. I'm also not here to attack anyone, but just speaking my mind. So hey guys, if you see me, uh, sorry, but I'm not Brutus. I'm not a whistleblower either. It's talking my mind.
We talked about this last time, but
Hmm.
people like Dr. K
They
have a
love him.
way of making
Oh.
you feel like
Hmm.
you are doing something wrong.
Hmm.
Like you're hurting an innocent person, even if you are just telling the truth
Hmm.
or setting boundaries or things that should be totally ethical and acceptable.
Hmm.
Or like reporting them to a medical board and saying like, I think this is a problem. Somehow it turns into you feeling like a bad person. I feel some of that too, and I imagine if you worked with him and work for him, I imagine that you are wrestling with that.
Yeah, it's definitely something I wrestle with. Like I said, I took about, what, 6, 7 showers in like 2 days. I got slapped with like a care package the very next day after the after the interview, so it made me feel really weird. Um,
You think they sent it because of the interview?
no, no, they didn't send it because of the interview. They had
It's just
sent the care
a
packages out.
coincidence.
It was a coincidence. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I was like, oh shit, this feels terrible. But I think going back to what you're saying, people like Dr. K, is that even true? Or is it just like just about anyone who feels like they're being attacked would kind of like you would feel bad about that? You would feel
No,
bad about no.
no. I mean, I think it's true of anybody, but I think that
Hmm.
there's a particular type of like um, Harvey Weinstein.
Hmm.
You don't see this kind of response in the people around Harvey Weinstein. When people talk about Harvey Weinstein in interviews, they're like, "Yeah,
Mm.
fuck, finally, fuck him." Like, thank
Yeah, yeah.
God somebody said something. Somebody grew a spine, said something, stopped him from hurting these
Mm.
people. Fuck him. You don't see an
Yeah.
outpouring of sympathy and like, oh, but what about Harvey? Like, don't. Um, Almost to his credit, like there's
Mm.
he doesn't pretend he's not an abuser. He's just openly abusive, and then people stood up to him and stopped him.
Yeah.
There's an outpouring of like guilt and protectiveness and coaching clients and the audience and the community all being mixed together in this weird
Hmm.
incestuous mass that seems to be like crying out in pain for him. That I don't think you would always expect. Certainly with not any Twitch streamer. I think there's people have different types of relationships with their audiences. Creep show art,
Yeah.
right? Went down in flames, but her audience was like, "Oh yeah, what you're doing is shitty." Like I think that's actually a sign of a almost healthier relationship with your community. If you fuck up and your community says, "Yeah, you did fuck up," I think that's to her credit. She had not totally like roped everyone into taking the fall with her or for her. Anyway, so I've been seeing a lot of guilt and in myself and in just around. It just seems like everybody is embarrassed and ashamed and feels like they did something wrong. And I feel like that's a really common thing when like a nice person is doing something wrong, someone who's generally otherwise nice. I think it's, and that niceness enables them to do more things wrong. I think that it gets really complicated.
Yeah. No, I feel you there about the niceness. I think that part of it might be, and I know you said, you know, you don't, you were told at one point like, hey, don't get into the whole net positive argument with Dr. K. It's just not a good argument to go down,
Because
right?
it
A line of argumentation.
undermines the fundamental ethics. It undermines
Yes.
ethics themselves. And say, yeah.
Yeah, and so yes, right? Like the greater good. Like, have you heard of the like Elon Musk shit with the monkeys recently? Like, just a bunch of them died because of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
fucking
I saw
implants, right?
that.
And
Yeah.
and it's like that's one of those things where, even if it were for the greater good, it just seems kind of like shitty, right? And you can say, oh, there are a lot of people jumping down his throat because like Elon Musk isn't likable to a lot of people, but for Dr. K, he's likable to a lot of people. So you feel shitty criticizing him because there is this greater good argument there.
Well, also we are willing to assign a value to an
Mm.
animal's life in terms of food or testing or science, where
Yeah.
we say an ethics board says, well, yeah, we can risk their lives in order to
Hmm.
make our own better. Like we decide that's okay. But we have
Hmm.
decided that we cannot do that with people. You can't have even a life-saving experimental blah blah blah. If the experiment and testing involves killing people, you can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And yes, that, you know what, that shit might help a ton of people with like fucking a bunch of people who are like paralyzed or whatever, and they get fucking bionic fucking arms and shit. But that
Hmm.
greater good argument, yeah, like you said, just don't work there. And I think that the
No.
issue here is that because, and you're gonna disagree with me here, right? But because no one is being killed, right? Um, no one's dying because of it,
Yeah, just one
right?
person.
Just one person. There you
Yeah.
go. Um, and we'll get into that later. But
I can't wait.
yeah, because no one's being killed here. Yeah, dude, it's a lot rougher to navigate that, I guess, that guilt that you have for like talking shit about someone that you care about, want to succeed because you feel like they're a good person doing a good thing, and you know they had a fuck up, and like we all be forgiven for our fuck ups? And it's like, yes, but I remember my dad made me do push-ups when I was a kid for fucking up, and it was like I hated that shit. But looking back, no, yeah, fuck that shit. My dad shouldn't have made me do
Do
push-ups.
you feel bad for Crudy?
Do I feel bad for? I don't. No, no, not necessarily.
Right? She's a normal power abuser.
Holy shit, that's not where I was going with that. But
It's
what do you
true
mean by
though.
that?
Like if Crudy to the extent that Crudy is complicit in this,
Hmm.
you don't feel like, oh God, what's gonna happen to Crudy? You're like,
Mm.
she's a savage businesswoman. She made her choices. She rolled the dice, and she fucked up, and she's probably gonna pay a price for that. And like, but you don't feel bad for her. Like she doesn't come across as like, oh, guys, like, take care of me. She comes across
Mhm.
as like, like a boss. And like,
Mhm.
if she's an abusive boss, if she underpays people, or she puts people in dangerous situations, she creates contracts that fuck over people and say you owe them $20,000. Like, these are all kind of shitty things to do. But
Mhm.
I don't see you feeling like heartbroken over saying these things. It's like that's how she treats her, or not her employees. And like that's what's going to come out about you eventually if you act like that.
Yeah.
But with Dr. K, you're given a whole like speech about like how you feel so conflicted about, you have to remind yourself like, no, I had to do push-ups when I was a kid. Even in your mind you're comparing, somehow you are the dad punishing your child who is Dr. K. And I think
Mm.
that kind of role confusion, I don't think happens
Mhm.
with Crudy. It's much more clear that to people what the role is. As much as I don't want to like sing her praises here, because I do think a lot she's complicit, and is what she's doing is unethical. But I don't think she ropes people into this very personal role confusion that Dr. K seems to.
Yeah, and part of me wonders if that's just the like like I think she's aspirational in like one way, and that's like the fucking the girl boss way, and hey, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
that isn't what I guess his audience and his people are looking for. Like they want, I think a lot of people want to be like Dr. K.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people want to be around Dr. K. I think they want to be friends with Dr. K,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they want to take care of their buddy. Their buddy is in a tough spot right now, and here's this really mean guy, Max Carson, and he's a fucking
Mm-hmm.
bad person, and there you go, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm
And so,
I'm
go ahead.
dismantling the parasocial relationship between him and his audience. Hopefully.
Well, I think I so I mean, you got through to me. At one point I was pretty much. I don't think I would have ever said any of this stuff um, prior to just listening to you talk during the. I think it was during the Destiny interview that you did, and it was like, oh, okay, well, let me go on and talk to this guy a bit, and then just talking to you like on one point, and I'll use a word that you used during one of your tweets or whatever, unhinged, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
at one point I was like, oh, this motherfucker is unhinged, and then after that I just thought about it, and I was like, well, I mean, sure, like he's about as unhinged as like any other motherfucker. If you were to like reach into their brain and you know pull out the thoughts that they're thinking, you just happen to have like no fucking filter. I've thought I I've thought similar shit about other people, right? So yeah, you're no more unhinged, I think, than the rest of us, and because of that, because of your ability to be honest in front of like this large audience, because it's like you've got your audience, fucking however many people are watching it. You've got like Destiny's audience watching, because I think he was like streaming. My one of my clients said, "Dude, I saw you on Destiny's stream," and I was like, "Fuck that! That's fucking whack. That
Yeah.
way too many people saw that, right?"
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, you can be that honest in front of this large audience. I mean, again, look at the cuties review. You can be fucking honest, and like I think that
Can't.
on one hand it's aspirational, and so for me it helped pull me out of this. It's like, you know what, yeah, Dr. K isn't my friend. Like we've never had a fucking, you know I never played Rainbow Six with Dr. K, and I never would, right?
Yeah.
I never sat down and had a beer with the guy. Never would. Even if we did some fucking retreat thing, it would be as an employee and an employer.
Mm-hmm.
And like, hold on, I got to let go of some of these shitty feelings that I got, because he's just a fucking guy that I worked for. And I can be critical of guys that I work for. That's okay.
I would almost say that you should.
No, yeah, you should. Yeah, correct.
Okay. You watched the video?
So I watched the video. I thought it was interesting the way you did it. Your editing was pretty spot on because I felt like you were making an argument without having to you made the interviews make the argument for you, them and well, all the interviews, right? So this compilation of interviews and this, you know, and the two things where you come in and you do your bit where you're like reading off something so that we don't have to worry about interpretation on your part.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you had not watched a lot of Dr. K's content or lots of these interviews before that.
No, I watched the content that I mainly watched was the stuff on the Healthy Gamer channel, the YouTube stuff. That was like the bite-sized non fucking interview shit. That was mainly what I watched.
Can I
And prior to this, I
quote?
didn't.
Can I
Go ahead.
remind you of something you said to me in DMs?
Go ahead. Yeah.
You said it was weird watching Dr. K do things that would have gotten you fired.
um, maybe I was being hyperbolic. No, I'll own that.
Can you?
The
Well, you don't have
yeah,
to own it. You can disavow if you want if you didn't mean it. But
I completely disavow it, Max. I never
it
said that. You're a
it
liar.
you. Oh well, I don't want you to say that.
No, no.
But if you don't want to stand by it,
Yeah.
then you don't have to. But I'm curious about what things you're talking about and if that was a real thought you had and what you
No,
mean.
that was a real thought I had. Mainly like if I were to tell a client that I was gonna go hang out with him, you know, or made a client feel like and like didn't
In Europe.
in Europe and Japan, right?
Yeah. If you're going to go to
Um,
Japan and Europe with a client.
and you know what? Actually, I don't even think he said that. It was it was the other
Reckful said
thing.
it,
I
and
mean, that made me
he said yeah
yes,
after Reckful brought it up. So
yeah,
you're
right.
encouraging a client to fantasize about you going to Europe with them.
That and then it was the I'm gonna love you for 2 years and a day. And again, that felt more like a personal thing as opposed to like a professional thing.
Hmm.
Um, and that made me feel really fucking weird to see that because I wouldn't do that myself. Like in a relationship in which you're supposed to be helping someone, right? You're kind of cutting it way too close. Like, yeah, I've made fucking mistakes. I never talked about them in public. I'll talk about them right now. You know, I did tell a client like, yo, dog, like, you know, I would play Siege with you were you not my client, and I even think that was a bit too far,
Hmm.
right? Because it leaves in the air like that there's some world in which like we can be friends, and I actually don't want that, you know, and it makes things a little weird. They should be strictly professional. I think the lines should be very clear. I don't think that my clients should ever want to feel like they can be friends.
Or that they are preventing you from getting your needs met because you want to be their friend, but they are making it so you can't be their friend because they're forcing you to be their coach. It
Yeah,
introduces a lot of confusing questions and dynamics
it
there.
can get very confusing. And I think that was, you know, in chess parlance, that was a blunder,
Hmm.
right? That's not a simple mistake. That's a really tough one to watch for me.
Hmm.
Um, again, and dude, we make mistakes, but I don't know, just fucking own it.
I mean, the number of and frequency of mistake. I mean, the and the
Yeah.
whole setup of the almost all of these um, interview slash therapy relationships are all
Mm.
fundamentally so flawed that I don't. I would like him to own up, but I think to me owning up would involve turning over his license. I don't see a way around that.
Yeah. I yeah. And then sorry to so fucking hurriedly move on to something else, but
No,
the Lily Pichu thing, the $3,000 donation made me feel really weird too, because like I wouldn't want to take money from.
yeah, I've seen multiple people so I talk about bartering and gifts, and then or the experts do, and then I got to spell this out because I've heard a lot of people ask why that clip was there. Well, what's the implication there? Like, I think Irrelevant was watching on his stream. He's like, what's this supposed to imply? What does that mean? So, if you do a interview with somebody, a public stream on a platform where you are also a streamer, you're both taking donations, that's not a good foundation for, then I'll be your private therapist. So even if everything was above board after that, I think you'd still have some kind of ethical concern. I don't know how serious, but like semi-serious. You'd have a problem if you were routinely meeting with people in public to do some like emotional razzle-dazzle show with them and then become their private therapist. Just that alone, I would say, is a problem. Then you have the fact that he did not pay her, or she did not pay him. She offered to pay him, and he said no. So at that point, it becomes a barter, and the exchange is he's only doing that because he went on her stream. So it's an exchange of exposure and fans and whatever testimonial, whatever he's getting out of that. And then also, this is also ignoring that the relationship's already totally fucked anyway because he did therapy on her while outside of a doctor-patient relationship. So fundamentally, the frame is broken there. But even after that, you've now established a barter, which is also unethical because the patient doesn't know what they're bartering. It creates a feeling of owing. You're not supposed to feel like you owe your provider. And somebody who's wealthy, like Lily Pichu, should know, oh, no. My rate for rich streamers is $250 an hour, whatever. What is some fair rate to charge a millionaire? And she pays, and then she knows for $250, I get my hour of care, medical care from my doctor who's taking care of me, and that's it. And you don't introduce the, wow, that was so nice of him. You never want to be saying, he's so nice. You never want to be saying that about your therapist or your doctor. And then the final nail in the ethical coffin here is she makes a donation of $3,000 to the Healthy Gamer Foundation, which ties back into the claim made by a couple coaches that coaches are instructed not to accept gifts themselves if a rich streamer wants to give them a gift, but instead to direct them to make that gift to the foundation, which is a nonprofit organization controlled by Dr. K and his wife. And that is what that's what Lily Pichu donated to. And again, if you're a doctor or a therapist, you are not supposed to endorse donations to anything, and much less accept them to yourself. But you're not even supposed to suggest, if a client says, who should I donate, like what politician should I donate money to? You're not supposed to engage in that. You're not supposed to endorse or encourage donations, and least of all fucking to yourself. So I just want to make that clear of that's the, and so that things like that, like you might not pick up on if you're a lay person or if you haven't had these hammered into your head, but an ethics board person watching those three things in a row of like, you saw her in public, you saw her in private, and then you took a $3,000 donation from her to your foundation. What? Like that's a pretty serious breach. So I just wanted to lay that out because I think that one probably might have been less clear to people.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not entirely sure if I remember her saying that she worked with him in private. I know for a fact that Pokemon said that she worked with him in private.
Yeah, Lily Pichu said Dr. K. He said I could talk to him if I'm having a tough time. I called him and I said, I really need your help with something. I can pay. And he said, no, I don't want you to pay. In the future, I'll take your money, but not this time. He said he just wanted to talk to me human to human.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Again, it gets really weird because and I think even Dr. K has addressed this, like your level of education, your level of like the your skills, right? Your fucking power level, whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
Because he's an actual psychiatrist and an actual therapist, it gets really fucking blurry. It gets really weird. Is
I
this
mean,
really just a person to person thing? Or
it's
is it a
no,
therapist talking
it's
to you?
not. It's not. But it's not
No,
actually
so
blurry. It
no
can
no
be.
no
It can
no
be blurry to the
I,
person who's being
to the
taken advantage of.
person,
They like,
yes,
yeah,
yeah.
it's really. Oh yeah, it's confused. I mean, but that's what you say when you groom a child.
Hmm.
Okay, if you want to convince somebody who you're not supposed to have sex with you, someone you're in control over, someone who's too young, someone like your best friend's wife, whatever, whoever you're trying to have sex with, you say, "Oh, this is just about us being humans."
Hmm.
Ignore my role. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an adult. You're not a child. You're not my friend's wife. You're not my patient. You're not my student right now. We're just two humans. We're just humans and we're just going to connect human to human. And specifically in that phrasing, human to human is implied, well, ignore our roles, ignore society, ignore all those, those old white men with their guns and their rules who don't want me to fuck you right now. Ignore all that. We're just going to be humans. What you're really saying is ignore the guardrails and ignore the safety net. You're saying ignore ethics. We're
Yeah.
just animals. We're just two animals being ourselves, doing what we want to do, just being you and me, just like he said to Reckful. He said I'm not helping you. This isn't about me helping you. Why is he saying he's not helping him? Because he knows if he says he is helping him, that he's practicing medicine, he can lose his license and get fucking sued. He's trying to escape this fucking doctor-patient situation, so he says, "Oh, it's just being us, man, just human to human." It's of course the person in power who's advantaged by ignoring all these ethics rules is the one suggesting, well, maybe we're just two creatures doing what we want to do. I that phrase
Yeah.
really fucking gets under my skin.
Yeah. I can tell. Um, you got a little heated there. No,
Yeah.
so earlier I was watching just because I don't watch a lot of like interview content. But then I thought about it and I was like, okay, well, like fucking Joe Rogan has his interviews and shit. And then like, do you remember Andrew Hale? I don't know if you ever watched any of his content. Um,
No.
no. How about Anthony Padilla? He
Yeah.
did like, yeah, 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 right. Like he does interviews, right?
Yeah.
And like she can get a little spicy sometimes because like some of the people he talks to are in spicy situations or whatever. But it never feels like therapy, right?
Hmm.
Um, Same thing with Andrew Hill. He's pretty cool. That dude's so fucking awkward that it could never feel like therapy.
I mean, you
You
and
might
I
get your
had a
advice
pretty
from him.
emotional
Yeah,
conversation last time. I was talking about my father and my upbringing and being abused
yeah,
and how being abused is affecting my approach here. And you didn't. I mean, first of all, I don't think there was a sense between us that like I had curled up into your arms and now you
hmm,
were running the conversation, which I
yeah,
think
yeah,
is part of that therapeutic sense of like, oh, you're holding me in some way.
hmm,
And then you were not probing.
yeah.
You weren't
No,
saying like you weren't saying like, oh, so like tell me, like Dr. K would say, oh, your father abused you verbally. Tell me about that. What does that mean?
hmm,
What did he say? When? How old were you? What happened after? Where was your mom? What was she doing? Sounds like you wanted her to protect you. Why wasn't she there? How do you feel about that? Oh, you're crying? Great. Let's do some yoga or whatever the fuck. And then, oh, well, you're done. Like you did
yeah,
you weren't doing that. So like there's definitely a way for things to be emotional without taking on the role of I'm going to probe deeper to
hmm,
for the purpose of alleviating your mental health symptoms. It seems like pretty clear. Yeah.
yeah. And I think that again because because of the funnel, right? It's all a funnel, right? Like the Twitch stuff and the YouTube stuff, it's all a funnel to the coaching stuff. Like
Yes.
if you say no, you're bullshitting.
Okay.
Um,
So the goal is to get people shunted into the coaching program.
yes, and so one of the things that, you know, I think that, and whether this is what he was thinking early on or not, right? But definitely more is the coaching stuff is getting kicked up, and he's thinking about, like, you know, starting it up and starting his own coaching program and all that stuff. Like, you want to show off the kinds of skills that your coaches might have, right? And so
Yeah.
you're kind of playing a losing game here, where, like, you kind of have to go in and do some of this coaching stuff, which feels a lot like therapy, and in some senses you'd say it's therapy.
The
I'll
coaching
go ahead
stuff?
and
I
say
don't
I don't
know.
fucking know.
I'm
No, the
I'm
stuff
saying
he does on stream. The stuff he
the
does on
stuff he
stream.
does on stream is not clearly therapy, and it is not clearly not therapy, which is the
Okay,
fucking
there you go.
problem. That is the
Yeah.
problem.
Okay.
I don't know
No,
if you
fair
saw my
enough.
stream
Yeah.
earlier, but I described it like this. With most rules, there's a line you can't cross. With this
Hmm.
rule, it's that there's a blurry area, and you can be over here, you can be over here, but you can't be here. So this is the red
Hmm.
area. Conversation can be therapy and it's ethical. It can be not therapy
Hmm.
and it's ethical. But if a conversation or a relationship is sort of therapy, then you're right in the worst spot. So
Yeah.
it's not like a normal rule where it's like, oh, I'm on the edge, so maybe it's okay. It's being on
Hmm.
the edge is the worst place to be.
I see. I see. Because again, thinking back to the thing, and one of them talks about privilege and how, like, you can waive your rights to privacy, and you can
Yeah.
do, you could probably theoretically do, like, this online therapy thing with an audience and all that stuff as, like, a part of a demonstration or whatever. And were he doing that, and were it clear that this is therapy, then you would have, like, no problem with it.
Because you would
Or
have
maybe you would have
it
a
would be
yeah.
I would have I might have a problem because I don't think
You,
a research board would sign off on that
mhm, yeah. But
because there's too many I don't think they would have an audience throwing money at, like, it's too fucking weird. I think they would
yeah,
have
yeah.
maybe a pre-filmed demonstration that he could then play a video on his stream of it in a controlled environment and then talk about what happened in the session and
Mm.
give an explanation of therapy with somebody who'd already been evaluated and vetted and made sure that they are mentally well. um, that kind of thing I could imagine being approved, but
Yeah.
not live therapy, both on the same platform where they're competitors or coworkers or what. It's no, I don't think they would approve.
Yeah, and so you've got that side, and then you've got, like, and I'll use Anthony Padilla. You have, like, the Anthony Padilla style interview where it's like, yeah, sometimes people are like, again, the interview gets a little spicy, but it's fine. This isn't therapy. You have
Yeah,
no questions about it being therapy.
right.
It's literally just an interview. So two people hanging out, right? And so
Human to human.
human to human.
Yeah.
But this has questions because, look, I so here's where I start having problems with it. Is
Okay.
where fucking Sky Williams, when he's like, yeah, this isn't therapy, and he does the face, he does the, like, this is actually therapy face. I don't know how to translate that, but it's definitely like a wink and a nod type thing. Um, where Dr. K says, where I think Sky Williams says, hey, he mentions therapy. Dr. K shoots it down,
And
and
he says,
then
right. It's not
right,
therapy, right? Yeah, and smiles
yeah, and
knowingly. Yeah.
and I think that's the point where you should probably, like, stop, right? Like, that's probably the point, at least in that interview, where you should address it and then just be like, yeah, we can't go on because obviously you think this is therapy
Yeah, yeah.
and it's
I
not
think you're
supposed to
giving
be.
Dr. K way too much credit here, with implying that he is trying to follow the rules. I think he
Mhm.
said outright that he's not following them. He doesn't think they apply to him. He doesn't think he should have to follow them, and he's just going to break them. I feel like you're giving him the benefit of the doubt in your reading here. Like I know,
Fair
like
enough.
you're
Yeah.
saying like it's like you're saying like, hey, if I was teleported into the middle of a situation where I'm emotionally abusing a vulnerable, mentally ill person and exploiting them, here's what I would do. But it's like you wouldn't fucking be in that situation in the first place. So I feel like you're giving them way too much credit in this hypothetical,
All right. Yeah. Um.
right? Like you wouldn't be on your 110th live therapy session interview at that point.
Yeah.
Like
Where.
you wouldn't be in the situation in the first place.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go to med school and then be like, I know what I'll do. I'll do this.
No, I probably wouldn't. No, it's too weird.
Yeah. Okay. Can
Oh.
I? Oh, my mic is popping here and there. It could be connection or Twitch or your game is just a tad high. It's starting to just peak. Test, test. Ah, wow. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. I see. The problem is I'm getting too fucking angry. Okay.
All right.
Can I ask you some other questions?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Um, did you see the Q&A that Crudy did in the Discord that I tweeted out?
No, I didn't. Like, I haven't seen any
You
of
were mentioned in
your.
it.
Yeah, I was mentioned in it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what it said.
I'm spooked.
I'm going to send you the mrgirl link. I'll put it in the chat too,
Hmm.
in case people want to look. I guess I could put it up on the screen. I've never done that before. Let me get an incognito window going here. Don't want to mix business and pleasure here. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Uh, window. Yeah. Okay. Here we go, guys.
All right. Yeah, I'm reading really
Yeah, so
quick.
take a gander. Curious to know what you think. Gotta get this window resized here. All right. Let's try to find the one where you. It was. It's been alarming to me to see so much negativity and suspicion. I assume that the video is resonating with people probably more than they expected.
Hmm.
I'm really looking forward to working with the medical board. I believe they've been contacted by the Massachusetts Board of Registration in Medicine. I think they're doing the investigation. So anybody considering reporting them, unless you feel really like moved to do so, I don't know that there's a reason to do that. Overall, the video was an attack, but did you find anything useful from the Mr. Girl video? More the process, Crudy says, that he had so much trouble getting experts to criticize All Oak that he would stoop to trying to ruin one of our coaches' career. I think that's you, Josh.
Oh, did you try to ruin my career? Is that what happened?
I
Has
didn't
this
just
just all
try
been
to,
an
I
op?
didn't try to ruin it. I did ruin it.
You know what? You did. I was making more money there than I am now, dude.
Yeah, you're
Hey,
you're
what the
you're
fuck?
dead.
Yeah, you ruined my career. I'm never gonna be a coach. No, that feels kind of weird because I don't even think that's a weird reading of it. I'll be honest.
Of the situation.
Yeah, because I don't feel like you went. I don't feel like you went in there. So I've watched enough of your shit to know that if I say I don't want to talk about something, you'll be like cool with it,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this just speaks to. So one of the things that I've got in mind is like if their defense at all is going to hinge on you being a pedophile, like they got to just do a little more research because it's not going to stick.
I don't see
And
that. I mean, if a pedophile,
yeah,
I mean, it almost makes it look worse if a pedophile successfully files this complaint and the complaint is valid.
yeah,
Okay. Wait. There's a couple other things I wanted you to react to
fair
here.
enough. Cool.
Um. Well, I mean, the part of that I'm curious about is like, how do you feel about being invoked there?
Uh, I I don't necessarily like it. But again, that's fine. It's whatever. Because I don't feel like you were trying to ruin my career. I was the one who reached out to you. I want to
Yeah,
talk
yeah, I
about
know that.
coaching.
I'm asking how you feel about
Yeah.
being used. How you feel
How
about
I
your
feel about.
name? Do you feel like they're using you by doing that?
I mean, sure, but like, it's smart. I would do
Oh,
it
okay.
too. Fuck it. Yeah.
I guess it's smart, except now you're here saying like that it's not true. So it was super short term smart. Okay, last thing that I want to tell you they said is somebody said, "How's Dr. K been throughout the past few weeks? To an ordinary person, I imagine being attacked would be overwhelming, but he's always fuck. I don't think I have the full screenshot of that. Anyways, it went on, and then she said, "He's
Yeah.
human. Someone has said they want to come after his career, his reputation, his business, and wants to call up every colleague to condemn or condone him. He says terrible things about him, and we've never experienced this kind of hate."
Do you hate Dr. K? Just like serious question, real quick, before we
Uh,
like talk about that.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah. All right. Fair
I mean,
enough.
it's
Then
pretty. I don't wish harm on him, but I
mhm.
like if the emotion. I have rage for Dr. K. I would say it's not. I have empathy for Dr. K, so I wouldn't call it hate, but um, yeah, kind of. I think I put it this way earlier. When I
Yeah.
don't remind myself to empathize with him, I slip into hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do, are you at all interested in talking about the empathize with Dr. K part? Just like at all?
Um.
If you're not, that's
Am I at all interested? You. Uh. I don't know.
yeah. Fuck it. We'll put it in the no category for now. Um.
Why? Why do you want to talk about it? I guess that would be my question.
No. I'm just interested. I'm just wondering, like, in what way you empathize with Dr. K. Like, how? What do you? What does that mean? Like, what? Because when
Oh,
I'm thinking of empathy, right, it's like
well,
being able to see
I can
someone's.
I don't think he's evil. I think he has
Mhm.
good intentions. I think he's just in way over his head, and I think he is Crudy's kind of the combination of the two of them is kind of playing into his like worst instincts to just think he can pull this off somehow, and people are getting hurt, and he doesn't see it, and he can't. He's like backed into a corner. Have you seen Uncut Gems?
Yes, I
Okay,
fucking love
I
that
feel
movie.
like it's something like that where it's like
Oof.
he's like just compulsively making bad decisions and getting deeper and deeper in over his head, and it's starting to catch up to him, and he's like incapable of just like stopping. It just seems like
Hmm.
it's going to keep snowballing until he just like implodes, and like I don't want him to do that. I want him to gracefully just like stop, but I feel like it's turning into this like big fight, and I don't want that to happen.
Hmm. Yeah. No. I think that. So how has Dr. K been throughout the past few weeks? speaks, right? To an ordinary person, blah, blah, he's always struck me as probably some Zen motherfucker. That is what it's going to
Yeah,
say. Something like that,
something
right?
like that.
Um, and, and, and then her response, he's human. And I think that again goes ahead and speaks to the, you know, we've got to come to his aid, take care of Dr. K. Uh, thing that you keep mentioning.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, yeah, it would suck to be in Dr. K's position right now and have
Oh, while I
someone.
was making the video, I kept
Com-
thinking like, man, I am so fucking glad that this video is not about me,
yeah,
because that
yes,
would suck.
this would be really fucking tough to deal with. Um, because yeah, you are coming after his career and reputation and business, and like, oof, that's that's a tough one. I don't want to be in that position.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. Why are we talking about this? What is your point?
I don't know. You fucking brought it up.
No, you said, do you want to talk about the empathizing with Dr. K angle?
Oh no, I'm talking about the fucking response here. I moved on from the empathizing with Dr. K part.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's
I didn't
there's
make it
new
clear
okay. There's a
that
new
we moved
Q&A
on.
she did today that I want to discuss with you. I
Oh,
haven't publicly
okay.
released this yet.
All right.
Do you want to hear about this?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Is this interesting to you, or is this too much?
No, it's. I mean, I'm probably gonna look at it later on, Max, my dude. I don't know. So go ahead, show it. You'll
Okay.
save me some time later.
All right. So in the middle here. All right. So that's not working out. I don't know how these. Oh God, I don't know how these streamers do it. They're so quick with their displaying things.
Yeah. Is there like macros and shit? Can you just like do macros and shit?
Yeah, probably. But I've never like shown anything on my screen before, so I don't really know. Yeah, fuck you all. We have a mole in their Discord. Yeah, we've got well, at least we've got multiple moles. So I got banned from the Healthy Gamer Discord yesterday, but you know,
Makes sense. Yeah, I'd
but it
ban you
doesn't
too.
it doesn't matter. Really, I don't think I don't think banning me is a good idea. I think it just creates embarrassment because it doesn't stop me from doing anything. It just all that happens is it makes it look like you're not open to criticism.
Hmm.
Like, you know, if I
Yeah.
break a rule, then you could just mute me for 24 hours or whatever. But like, you could effectively make it so I can't really do anything without having to ban
Hmm.
me. Okay, so there's this group conversation happening with people saying, I think that Ms. Crudy has done the opposite of quelling concerns because you're not responding to any of his points. And people saying, I would like to see people respond to these criticisms. And so Crudy starts responding and she says, which criticisms do you think need response? Let me know and I'll do my best. Ayurveda, we've backed off of that given the valid points some have brought up that the research papers we were citing weren't that high quality. We actually had commented on the move to do more Reddit response and community interviews. Very simply, interviews don't do that well from a content performance perspective. There's more to be learned on the more narrow hypotheticals in a shorter amount of time. The ethics of interviews and the boundaries we set on them are pretty clear. We will be elaborating on them more publicly soon. In short, there's an onboarding process that involves informed consent. Now, I don't know how, I mean, with Reckful specifically, or Yvonne, I don't know how the fuck you consent. You can't consent to what happened to them. So this is bullshit, in my opinion. But with that disclaimer, let's continue.
Hmm.
A way for guests to request edits. Involves informed consent. A way for guests to request edits or complete removal of their interview if they wish. And after an interview, if the guest wishes to be connected to more support, we do that. Unless they're dead, then I don't know how you handle removal requests. Because the interviews with Reckful are still fucking up there. I don't know if they're monetized, but I It's very weird when Reckful's death is the fucking center of like um a lot of this. It's like it gives a lot of these claims their weight of like it's not just that you broke the rules, it's that you broke the rules and someone died. And there's never any acknowledgement of it. But like I understand not wanting to acknowledge it or bring it up, but to say but like if the person we're talking about is Reckful, it's kind of weird to be like, oh yeah, if he can just fill out a form saying he wants to remove the fucking interview.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
What?
I think on the so with the initial Recful interview, like, and this just has to do with, so you know what an MVP is? Not like fucking sports and shit, but like a minimum viable product, right?
No.
Like, so 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 when you're doing something, right? Like a business, right? Like you got to come out with something. You can't just wait till your thing's perfect. You got to start sometime, right? Like for example, fucking I think it was like Uber started off as like a texting service, um, and you would like request an Uber through that. So you got to start somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they started, at least with the Recful interview, it seemed like it was impromptu, and he just kind of jumped into it, and that that process wasn't there early on, and I don't doubt that after having ethical concerns be brought up and all this shit, that
Oh, you're saying
at
there's
some point,
obviously no actual consent or onboarding with Reckful. It happened live. Like you can see it
not
just like
yeah not that first interview.
no, for
It
sure.
doesn't seem like it, no.
No.
um and like and so over time you can definitely say like, well, we do all the consent stuff, and a lot of like, yeah, and they don't do very many interviews anymore. I looked into their catalog um recently, and yeah, they don't really do all too many interviews anymore. Um and so sure, you can have that there, but early on it seemed like it was kind of, again, it was all that gray area stuff
Yeah.
that was that was going on. Um
All right, Josh.
and
Do you,
what what
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
what you're asking them to address is Recful. You're asking them to address Recful. You're asking them to address,
Blurry
fucking
relationships. Reckful.
blurry
Yvonne.
relationships.
Yeah.
Yvonne, yeah, Lily Pichu, fucking Pokemon. You're asking
I mean,
like
yeah, the
address
fucking
this stuff.
list of things. Yeah, it's an enumerated list of specific
Yeah,
things they did wrong. There's plenty more. I just, for video length, I had to just choose, like, some of them.
yeah, yeah, right.
Uh,
And you get this wholesale fucking, yeah. We got, we've got our informed consent paperwork.
yeah, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
Uh,
It doesn't matter what they signed. I'm like, what you have done is the ethical breach. It doesn't matter what they signed before that. You can't consent to these things.
yeah, but I don't think it'd be smart for them to even address the thing. I think a lawyer would probably tell you like, you
A
don't
lawyer would
say
tell
that.
you not to do fucking impromptu Q&As in
Yeah,
your Discord too. From a lawyer's perspective, they shouldn't be talking about this at all.
yeah, yeah.
Um, or if they do, they should run everything they say by a lawyer, but they're not. Okay, ready for more?
Go ahead.
Uh, we do internal assessments that use industry standard measurements. So somebody was concerned. Let's see, where does rough G? I don't think I have that. Wait. No. The research that Dr. K discloses when talking about his coaching program is not published or peer reviewed. And so her claiming that it's similar to the effect of medication is actually dangerous. She replies, medical claims are different than what we do. We do internal assessments that use industry standard measurements. We also have IRB approvals to collect the information we collect. It's our mistake for not making it clear that we have these protocols in place. It's a nuance that's important in the regulated industries like a digital therapeutic or a pharmaceutical. Because we are strictly subclinical, we are bound to a different set of rules. While we are technically allowed to make these claims, we realize that it doesn't always read that way. You'll see that the website has been updated to remove that type of language. And then somebody said, I would be eased if I knew that the issue had been thoroughly investigated and approved by an ethics committee or similar. This is the therapy sessions. Short of that, it would always remain a question in the back of my head if it's kosher or simply just under the radar. She said, can you clarify which issue you want to make sure is thoroughly investigated? I'm trying to see what else she says that's meaningful. He has initiated a process with the medical board with which we are happy to comply. The nature of the subject involves private communications. To clear our name publicly, we'd have to release private communications, and there's no way we're going to dig up DMs like that. It's actually nice that we can show the board the full picture, go through the process, and clear our name that way. But it is a long and tedious process. It won't be addressed publicly. I realize it will cost us image points and invite speculation, but private correspondence is private, and that's a hard line for us. Trying to see if there's anything else. Kind of just general PR speak. It's a lengthy process, and we'll share updates as we can. Or here's one. What's not therapy is harder to define than what is coaching and what is peer support. We live in the space of coaching and peer support. There is a ton of research and guidance on those two areas, with dozens of international organizations and coalitions defining the space. But I don't see dozens of coalitions and organizations defining you as being not therapy or being in that space. I agree that it is defined, but that doesn't speak to whether you're operating in it. My question is, would it be, are you still with me, Josh?
Yeah, I'm still with you.
Okay.
Nodding along.
Okay. This is my last thing, I think. My question to you would be whether it's possible to avoid revealing the personal client info that you mentioned, but at least provide transparency on how Healthy Gamer and Dr. K's method of... I don't think I have the rest of this. I need to talk to my spies.
Your spies suck.
No, they're pretty good. Okay, anyways, transparency. And she said, transparency, yes, we are working on it. On top of what Ryan has said before and what I have said here, Alok will elaborate on it further. If you watch Yvonne's segment, you'll see it was cut up pretty intensely to make it seem like rapid-fire questioning when it was not like that in reality. I don't want to bring her name into this, and I don't want people bothering her about this. We always ask for feedback and allow removals or edits if the creator is unhappy with anything. This is the reason we started creator coaching, so we could work with creators privately without risking any public ramifications. It's live streamed. You can't really edit a live stream meaningfully. Someone can just someone's going to copy it. If somebody's being pushed to reveal their rapist on stream live, there's no way to yeah, it was done live. Also, yeah, I don't think the problem with what I wasn't trying to present, like, isn't it awful that he asked all these questions in rapid succession? I think it's understood that he was not saying those all in a row. There were, a minute or two between them, but that he was continuously bringing the conversation back to, I'm not telling you to name names, but name the fucking names. Or why won't you name the names? Is this really what your friends would want? Yeah. So that's the update. What do you have anything you want to say about that stuff?
Yeah. I think, again, I'm big on like image, and I wouldn't engage like at all. I wouldn't have done the Q&A. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think that you can like meaningfully address the things you want to address. Like, I'm sure they probably want to address the they want to do the Trump thing. It was a perfect phone, it was a perfect stream.
Yeah.
We did nothing wrong, right?
Perfect phone call.
Um, yeah, it was a perfect phone call, and so you probably want to do that, but you can't, like you really can't, because you're not Trump. You don't get to just do that,
You don't
and
have
like,
executive privilege or all these,
yeah,
you can be charged with a crime. It's not, you don't have the protections of the
yeah,
office.
yeah. And and even if you do go ahead and say like, well, yeah, we did nothing wrong, like I don't even think that's winning, because it feels like you're just kind of dismissing the claims. I without being willing to address what's being brought up, and what's being brought up is what you're bringing up. I
Mm.
don't think there's a meaningful way to do a Q&A here. I
Because they fucking
it,
did it. They did everything I said they did, plain as day. I don't. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I don't see how you can convince people. You can say the rules don't matter, or you can say we broke them and we're trying to fix it, or you can
mhm.
say, yeah, Mr. Girl's just attacking us for no reason, and like, you'll see. I guess that's what they're saying is this is a nasty attack, and our names will be clear. We look forward to having our day in court when we will be total exoneration. Yeah.
Mhm. What would you do if there was total exoneration? Like lose your
I
shit?
would attack the ethics board. Yeah, I'd lose my shit.
Uh,
I'd
Makes
freak out.
sense. Yeah.
But my crosshairs would move on from Alok and Crudy for sure. I would be like, well, if this isn't against the rules, then fuck the rules. I would move on to the bigger
Mhm.
fish.
Yeah.
Can I ask you if you have any advice for me? I
Do I
think
have?
I'm.
Go ahead.
Can you not interrupt me? I'm thinking of making a video about Healthy Gamer at the organization. So I've got like a former employee said they're going to send me a write up of their experience, which they said is some of the worst time of their life was working for Healthy Gamer, and private correspondence, some other coaches and ex coaches.
Mhm.
Um,
Like an actual employee, not
yeah,
one of us weird contractors.
not a
Oh, okay,
coach, but
yeah.
an actual employee. So I've got all this. I've got information starting to trickle in here, or I guess flood in. I guess there's quite a bunch of people I'm like talking to now. Do you have any advice for me or anything you want to say as I um, go on my next fact finding expedition?
So what do you? So I mean, I was pretty clear on what you were trying to do with based on our last conversation. It was like you're gonna hammer home the wreckful thing. Now I'm
have you seen Unforgiven?
yes, yeah, that's a good movie. Yeah.
You remember when the woman says you just kicked the hell out of an innocent man,
Hmm.
and Gene Hackman says innocent of what?
All right. So that, but that doesn't answer the question. What are you trying to do there?
I don't know.
Mm.
My here's my I've seen enough alarm. The $20,000 you owe us $20,000 is alarming enough. I don't know if that alone
Hmm.
merits a video, but it's weird. My sense is that if these people think they're above the ethics rules, I think they're probably
Hmm.
thinking they're above all kinds of rules. My guess would be that there's all kinds of weird shit going on, and I would like to figure out what it is. I mean, even though she's already
Yeah.
saying like we've revised our language on the website. And then like there's somebody was talking to me on an earlier live stream. He said he worked for a medical research ethics board, saying like, they're presenting stuff as research, but like you can't do that. It's not research. Just like where's the money for the foundation? What the money that's being donated to help gamers like on their streams, like where's that actually going? Like what the fuck is going on here basically? I
Mhm.
want to figure that out. And if the answer is like nothing much or it's actually pretty standard or above board, then I might not make the video. But if the answer is that they're cutting corners and taking advantage of people and that it's all a big fucking cult where they're just something really weird on the website. It says it's like who's coaching for, and it was asking who's group coaching for, and one of the answers is if you want to be a coach,
Mhm.
you could attend group
Yeah.
coaching. And I was like, is this a fucking MLM?
At when
Like what? How often
I
do clients?
read
How
I
often
read
do
that.
clients? Yeah, that's weird. How
I
often do
read that.
clients become coaches?
I okay, so I read so this is a weird one, and at one point I saw someone, yeah, I saw someone from one of my groups. They didn't actually like join the group, but at one point I was running like a skills workshop, um while a cohort was being fucking I guess trained. And I recognized the name, and I went back and I like looked into my stuff, and I was like, I swear that that person was like in one of my groups. And yeah, sure enough, they were in one of my groups. They I never actually saw them, but I'm assuming they just got a better time or whatever. And
Well,
it does feel a little weird.
they're a coach now.
Yeah,
Someone who was in one of your groups. Yeah.
someone who was,
So
yeah.
right. So that does kind of make it like an MLM. Not technically in the structure,
Mhm.
but just the idea of like you come in, you pay, you get your unpaid training, you become a coach, then you go find more people and
Mhm.
then you coach them. And then if they want to be coaches, then they become coaches and then we find more people for them and the healthy gamer community grows and it's just this big, yeah, incestuous soup of coaches and gamers and employees and clients and everybody all mixed together. I feel feels like something weird's going on, and of course it would assist me in the getting Dr. K, getting his license revoked crusade, and kind of just shining a big light on everything. So I feel like to defend myself a bit, it's like you're asking
Mhm.
me what am I going to find? It's an
Mm.
investigation. I
Mhm.
don't know what I'm going to
Yeah,
find.
yeah. No, fair enough.
And I'm going in with an open mind. I'm obviously somewhat frothing at the mouth to find certain
I
things, but I want to be. If I don't find them, I don't find them.
I think, and this is me being like super fucking biased, right? Because like I think that healthy gamers are pretty cool. Like healthy gamer coaching is a pretty cool thing that they got going, when it's working really well. I think that there is a risk for it to go like poorly. I really do think that, just because the therapy question, like, aren't we doing therapy? And think that I don't think I was. Um, but again, you never fucking know. I think that just call it fucking life coaching. Don't call it mental health coaching. And then
Or
like
just
go
use
ahead
licensed
and
therapists.
or use see, but the licensed therapist one is, it's kind of like antithetical to what they're trying to do, which is
But they're only trying to do it because it makes them more money. I don't. Have you looked at the subreddit?
have I looked at the sub no. What
Have you
about the
looked at the
subreddit?
Healthy Gamer subreddit?
No.
Let's take a look. I want you to see something or
Okay.
hear something. Okay. We're just going to scroll through it. I want you to look at the topics here. So we got a
Okay,
meme.
hold on. Let me see. Should I open up the stream? Fuck.
I think it'll be delayed. I'm just going to read it aloud to you.
Okay.
Okay. Consumed by a desire for something I can't have. Infatuated with a coworker. Pushing myself to be social, but cringing at mistakes I make. Okay, these are good. I feel like I'm a child in an adult's body. Being single is fun and all, but companionship is stimulating. How do I meet women? Gaming rage. Toxic friends. Okay, you know what? I take it back. These all seem like... okay, this one is more about depression. But most of these actually seem like coaching appropriate topics.
Mhm.
Do I have the right to be mad at my mother for saying that I'm mentally ill? Where to go with relationships? I'm feeling lonely among my closest friends. How do I tell my partner? Okay, never mind. The last couple times I've checked the subreddit, it's been like suicide, really like fucked up shit, but not so. So maybe I just I went at a special time. I was getting this impression
Yeah.
that it felt like the community was full of people who actually like super need mental, like serious professional help.
Mhm.
But I stand corrected.
Yeah, I think that. So, like, one of my questions is, can a coach meaningfully, like,
Some of my chat's saying that I
go
missed
ahead.
one that said I hate my life and thinking about ending it all. Yeah, there's a lot of like suicidal like crazy shit on there, but maybe
Mm.
I don't, maybe they're moderating it, or maybe I just went at a time where it just happened to be. I would expect any subreddit talking about life to have some proportion of that in there. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I think that, like, one of my questions is, can a, like, coach meaningfully and, like, ethically help you with, like, mental hygiene, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because not all of it has to be super fucking, depression stuff. I'm gonna kill myself, and
Mm-hmm.
not all of it has to be, mental hygiene stuff doesn't have to be, my fucking, mom, was in love with me kind of shit, right?
Yeah. Right.
Uh,
For
And
example.
and so, for
Okay.
example,
Are you saying you're asking the question is mental health coaching ever ethical?
yeah, could it be ethical? And I think that it probably could, if you like stay away from certain topics, and I think that that's what they try to do at
Mm-hmm.
Healthy Gamer, in the coaching thing, because again, the coaches there are pretty fucking awesome people, and they really are doing their best, with the tools that they're given, and they're like updating the coaching fucking training and all that shit, and like I think they're doing a cool thing there. Um, and so the part of it is trying to bridge that gap between, like, yo, not all of you fuckers need therapy. Some of you just like need a person to talk to. Um,
To help you
and
with your
we can
resume.
yeah, and we can, yeah, exactly, and we can do that for you. $40 a pop, as opposed to like 150, $200 a pop for a fucking therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a valuable service. I really do.
I agree. I think that my issue is not so much with. I mean, the same thing with personal training or I don't know, fucking getting your nails done. Like people get emotional support from
Mhm.
professionals all the time across all different kinds of professions. My issue is that I don't think that Dr. K and Crudy understand boundaries. I don't think they really understand boundaries or ethical guidelines or and how to comply with them and how to hold boundaries, how to create a like safe sane
Mhm.
structure and hold it against the forces that will naturally try to disrupt it. And I think that in a case of a mental health coaching or mental hygiene coaching or however you want to put it, in that kind of business, within the structure, I mean, if you're having clients and advertising, become a client and then maybe you'll work for us. It already just shows a total
Yeah.
like wishy-washy, blurry boundaries that I think
Mhm.
is a setup for disaster for clients. So I agree with you in theory, but I don't think that these are the people to be able to do it.
Mm. That puts it, like, in my mind, that puts it in a weird place because there's no one else doing it. I mean, you got like fucking Better Up, but those fuckers cost like $100 a session or whatever.
because they're
and
licensed.
like then it just gets into, well, no, that's Better Health, I think. Better Up is like another coaching
Oh,
type thing.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And those people are like just again more expensive. Um, and it almost gets into therapy fucking. And I feel like they mostly do the professional services type stuff, like, hey, help you with your fucking career growth and all that stuff. Whereas Healthy Gamer started off with the whole like, age of the internet gamer, fucking, we're gonna help you guys because no one else understands you, and we're gonna do peer coaching because, hey, who better understands you than you? And I think I th- think
But the
it's
whole
in.
the whole the whole premise is that
Mhm.
gamers are like different. But from the way Dr. K's stretching to make HP point references and mana and whatever fucking gaming shit he's saying,
Mhm.
it doesn't feel like gamers are that different. I agree that reaching out to gamers as an audience to get them to come to, you know, coaching or therapy is a good idea, but I don't know that you need to make the coaching gaming themed in order to accomplish that.
Yeah. So I mean I can kind of talk to that a bit because early on a lot of the clientele that I had was like gamers. And I think they've fallen into this weird spot of like, what is it? Like the marketing hell of having your company be called Healthy Gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then like it not being just for gamers. Um, and I think like doing outreach and trying to, figure out how to get more people who aren't just gamers into this thing. That's a tough. I don't want to be part of the marketing team. They don't want me on it anyways. But yeah. Where was I going with that?
I was asking you for advice.
You were asking me for advice. My advice is, yo, dog, real talk. Um, just
They're gonna sue me.
tread lightly, right?
Is that what you're
Because
thinking?
Dr. K is the one who knocks. No, maybe. How would you feel if they sued you, man? That would suck.
That would be exhausting.
Right.
Do you
I
have
mean,
any advice?
yeah, be careful who your sources are. That's my advice.
What does that mean?
It's your
You think
homework.
they're gonna try to
Just do
feed
your
me
homework.
bad information and trip me up?
I fucking would. I'm. I said during the. I'm very cynical, and I would. I'd send fucking coaches.
To,
I
t- to
wouldn't
tell me
if
to tell me lies? I don't think you could.
to
Even
tell
if
you.
even
No,
if
no.
even if
I think coaches. I think there might be some bad faith coaches reaching out to you, maybe, and I would say be careful with those people.
how would I
Bad
know?
faith in either direction.
And
Just
do
like
what?
double check your sources. That's it.
I
Make sure that you make sure that you've got the best information possible. And I know you do. I've watched your fucking gender narrative thing. And so I know you do your homework. You're
okay,
not
but you're
lazy.
saying I gotta. You're saying don't misstep because they'll capitalize on it, or what?
Don't misstep because they'll capitalize on it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. Don't be lying. I don't think you're gonna lie.
No,
But
there's no. Why would I lie?
yeah.
Can't have the moral high ground if I start lying. The chat's freaking out. They're saying that my room is bugged. They're saying that you're gonna teleport behind me. Crudy shooters on the roof. This guy has some dirt he's trying to throw under the rug. Damn. This is some Scientology shit. Yeah, it does feel like that. Somebody said like half an hour ago that they said be careful. You still haven't seen Crudy's final form.
Yeah. I don't know what her final form is. I haven't seen it either.
They
I was
probably
spooked during my conversation with her though. She's
yeah.
intense. Yeah.
She comes off as yeah, pretty cutthroat. Somebody said they probably hired a private investigator to follow you, bro. They're pretty. I guess they're pretty rich, huh?
I mean, yo, dude, coaching businesses make a ton of money. Like, I got a,
I mean,
I got
just
a
just
buddy,
I was gonna say just off this Twitch streaming and shit. They're probably making a few
on
$100,000 a year at least.
fucking probably Twitch and YouTube combined. Probably,
Yeah,
yeah.
probably maybe five or six or $700,000 a year. I mean, a lot. I would guess.
A decent amount of money. And yeah, yeah. And then on top of that, the coaching business. I know a guy. I did an EMT course with this dude like back in 2017, and he went off and didn't become an EMT. He instead decided to do like coaching shit, and the dude's making way too much bank. Has like a fucking, drives one of those supercars and fucking mansion and shit. And I was like, from coaching, I got into the wrong type of coaching. Fuck.
Sketchy.
No. So yeah, not he. Yeah, Healthy Gamer has money. Yeah. You can find yourself in and and if they were to sue you, I think they would feel like they're doing the right thing,
You think they
right?
drink the Kool-Aid?
Yeah. Why why wouldn't I don't think they see themselves as the bad guys.
Hmm. They should watch the video.
Hmm. I wonder if they have.
I would assume. Chat saying I'm scared. Am I scared? I do seem a little scared. Yeah.
The reason I bring up the legal shit is because of the thing that is in here, right? There is a legal process going on right now.
I thought, yeah, that could be the ethics board. Oh, she
It,
said something
yeah.
about. Was there anything else in there about legal shit? I can't. Is there anything about
I hope
lawyers?
it's talking about the ethics board
But yeah, they
because
could be trying to sue me for sure. I'm sure there's some way they can throw a lot of money into something that makes my life harder. Yeah. Don't worry, Max. You have God on your side. I forgot about that. You'll rue the
didn't Joan
day
of
you
Arc
ever
had
cross Mr. Girl Crudy. A reverse PI fund. I wonder if he realizes what he is getting into. Jeez. It's gotten very grim over here in the chat. Send him a cease and desist first. Don't forget to leak the contract. Oh yeah, I will. I got to make sure it's redacted. I don't want to expose my sources. My non-Josh source for my contract.
Yeah, definitely ain't fucking me.
No, it's not. You can out-rap him. Never forget that. Oh, if I have to, yeah. We'll just take it to wax. Chat, what's making Mr. Girl scared? Josh's ominous warnings. I was like, do you have any advice for me? And he was basically like, watch your step. Are you scared?
Uh, not really, because like I don't think I've done anything illegal. So,
Are you scared
and
for
not,
me?
you know what? Am I
Oh,
scared
sorry.
for you?
Are you scared for yourself? I don't know. You said you seem
Am I?
like you're about to revise your answer.
Yeah, no, 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 no. No, I'm not scared for myself. I don't think it matters if I think I did anything illegal or not. But I also don't think that, because I'm not going around fucking, leaking fucking contracts and shit. So I'm not too worried. Um, yeah, but am I worried about you? A little bit.
What are you worried
A little
about?
bit. Like I said, man, I'm cynical, and I think that when you're coming in an organization this hard, it is in the best interest of the organization to try and shut you up. And you can do that legally. That's a thing that, like, Nintendo has figured out, like, how to shut people up by just like saying fuck you, well,
Isn't it? Isn't it?
cease and desist, right?
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it so contradictory to the image of healthy gamer and Dr. K that the idea of someone criticizing them, not going overboard with the criticisms, I don't think, just fair criticisms,
Mm.
heavy criticisms, but fair criticisms, evidence based, that we would have chills running up our spine with the idea that the Dr. K, Mr. Nice Guy, and his Healthy Gamer Kumbaya organization is going to use their financial and social clout to try to crush you. It's so
See,
like, you know, I mean Nintendo too. It's kind of funny that this like
yeah,
fun family company is like, we will squeeze the life out of you if you say anything about us. But particularly with Dr. K, because it's like, it's not a big faceless organization. It's just a guy and his wife.
yeah, but I don't even think it has to be Dr. K and his wife running the show there. Like, the reason you hire lawyers in the first place is to protect you and your fucking organization legally. And so, like, even if they were like, this is a headache, all that shit, right? Like, what if some lawyer gets the idea, like, I want to make some money, some extra money. Fuck it, let's sue this guy. Now, I sound super frivolous, but I do. But come on, frivolous lawsuits are a thing.
I don't think. Yeah, I just don't see them making any money out of that. However, I am talking to a
A lawyer,
malpractice.
a lawyer would make money off of that.
Not suing me. They would lose this. They would be. Oh yeah, the lawyer I guess would make money from them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like they're, most lawyers, like I got sexually harassed at LA Fitness repeatedly by
Hmm.
multiple managers,
Hmm.
and I talked to a few different lawyers, and they were like, nah, not interested, not interested, not interested. And finally one of them was like, look, I represented a woman who got raped behind a counter by her boss at a restaurant on camera, and she got $20,000.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy. There's just no money in this. Like, we're not gonna stand up. We're not gonna help you. Um, I I am gonna be talking to some lawyers. I might interview them on stream if they're up for it. About the malpractice implications here of what he's done. So the lawyer shit goes both ways.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I guess my only other advice is, like, protect your sources, I guess. Because, like, with some of them, like, I wouldn't leak a contract. That just sounds really weird. Not weird in doing it, but rather,
The fuck are they gonna
like,
do
you
it? The thing
open.
is that I think once this starts building
Hmm.
momentum, there will
Hmm.
be enough people coming forward that it'll be like right now you're kind of the only person coming forward, so I get why they're like, oh, we gotta stop Josh. But after this, I feel like it's gonna just be like, Are you gonna shut down every fucking person who's ever worked for you? Like who are you afraid is going to hear this? Like eventually it will come out. I think that like I mean if I'm talking to 5 coaches, how many coaches have ever worked for Healthy Gamer? Like
At this point,
100.
about 60.
Okay, so I'm already talking to 10% of the coaches who have ever worked for
Yeah.
Healthy Gamer, which is like kind of a big percentage for not even having really tried to like accomplish that. So I feel
Mhm.
like eventually the dam will kind of break in it, and the idea that they're gonna start slapping people with lawsuits will kind of evaporate.
Yeah.
Once Pokimane disavows Dr. K, it's over. Yeah, I think that would be a pretty big blow. Oh yeah, I want to go after the Twitch partnership too. I think that has to stop.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what bugs me, like what bugs me about healthy gamer coaching is because I'm a dirty fucking commie, is not wanting to feel like I'm being exploited, like my labor is being exploited, and then I'm like paying for all these people's health insurance when I don't have it. Like, that's all I want coaches to have is like
Yeah.
health insurance. That give the coaches health insurance. There you go, and like stop making them go to unpaid meetings.
Ooh. Can't do that.
Right? They're well.
That's
They
you
don't
know what you
make them
should
go.
do.
They don't make them go. They don't make them go. That I misspoke there. It's not mandatory.
You should you could file a complaint that they were treating you as an employee. That's something you could actually do. If you look at the like definition of an employee versus a contractor, a
Hmm.
lot of companies try to get away with treating you like a employee when you're treating you like an employee but saying you're a contractor. Just kind of like
Hmm.
they say it's, not therapy, but it's just an interview. You could I think you can get some uh, retroactive benefits if you do that. They're not employees; they're contractors. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, the impact report. That's another thing that bugged me, where it said like 11 employees, fucking, or X number of employees, fucking 11 contractors, and like this many coaches,
It
and and
doesn't
and the whole like
put it in
that
your put.
obfuscates the shit. It's like these motherfuckers are contractors for contractors, not like coaches. Is it makes it sound like it's something that isn't contractor. Oh,
I would do it. Get your
I
health
don't know.
insurance.
I'm getting my health insurance, Max.
Get more, Josh.
Oh, um, I don't know. Feels weird.
Yeah, standing up for yourself feels weird.
It does. I worked for I've worked a shitload of jobs. I worked for this fucking company once where they were forcing us to work like through lunch pretty much, and like not paying us double time when we were working like 12 plus hours and shit. Um, and yeah, I felt pretty stupid when I didn't sue those fuckers because someone else did, and like they got they got their payment, and then I got like $60, and I was like, fuck, I've liked all that payment that they owed me. But nah, that sounds like a headache, man.
I think the
Even
IRS makes it pretty easy to file a complaint like that.
even even
I don't think it's.
trying to figure out if I was being treated like an employee or not
I don't think you
sounds
have
like
to
a
figure
headache.
it. I think the IRS will figure that out. I think you just tell them what happened and submit the form. I don't think it's.
I'll think about it, Max.
The IRS wants to catch people doing this because they owe payroll taxes. So they will look into it.
So here, like, here's my other thing. I think you can give contractors, like, even if they are contractors, like, just fucking insurance.
Oh sure.
Yeah, just,
Yeah.
yeah, because It is the labor that makes up your fucking company. And like, I don't know, it kind of feels weird when people are sitting pretty, employees, and they get, again, they get fucking healthcare benefits and 401k and all that shit.
Yeah.
And like, you gotta go through some like third party fucking website and get a discount on it, and like it all comes out of your fucking pocket. When here in the US all that shit's tied to your fucking, you know, goddamn employer. It's kind of, I don't know, don't like it. I like my new gig.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Are you still a member of my Patreon?
Fuck yeah, I need to know when you're dropping heat. And I need to get one of those fucking cassettes. So, there
Man
you go.
quits his job, stays on the Mr. Girl Patreon. I ruined your career and still you contribute.
I just want more rap albums. I'm gonna be honest. I felt like I was listening to, and it's such a boring take, but I felt like I was listening to Eminem for the first time again. Um, just like my mind blown at how fucking offensive you are. Um,
I
you know,
appreciate that.
yeah. And fucking, I'm gonna be honest. The skill's pretty fucking. It's there, but enough fanboying out over the music.
Thank you. All right. Is there anything else you want to say about any of this?
No, I'm gonna go ahead and plug their non-interview educational content. It's the only good shit I think on the stay away from the interviews. Don't watch that shit. Watch their non their non-interview educational content. It's pretty chill. Or look out for my interactive fiction if it ever comes out. It's never gonna come out. There you go.
You're
That's all I
interacting.
gotta
Well,
say.
hey, no, seriously, we said
Yeah.
before, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
stay in touch. Let me know. Let me know.
We'll do. Yeah, no, so that's the thing. You know what? I said I got an AA in fucking writing. I've been writing for like 10 fucking years. I write short stories and shit. Just before this, I was like looking at some shit on the New Yorker. Lauren Groff, she's my favorite fucking short story writer and shit. Check her out if you like Cormac McCarthy. Um,
I do.
yeah, check her out. She's like, check out The Wind by Lauren Groff. It feels like if Cormac McCarthy learned how to write women. Um, because I don't know if you've ever heard his take on that, but it's like I don't write women because I don't. They're different.
I have heard his take on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll try to interview her.
There you go. And yeah, that's about it, man. And I'll stay in touch and all that shit.
Okay.
Take care.
Uh, how many showers are you gonna have to take after
Oh,
this?
uh,
My last question.
zero. Like ever again.
No
Zero
showers ever
showers.
again.
This is
Good.
this
Good.
has cleansed me
Okay. Good.
completely.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Well.
feeling fine. We're chilling.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Stay in touch and watch your bag.
You too.
I will. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Am I okay? I would say I'm a little unnerved. Yeah, it feels. It does feel ominous. I think every once in a while, it's like, yeah. I mean, like, Uh, Part of the reason people don't stand up to Dr. K is that they don't see it, and part of the reason is that he's scary. I've talked to a few people who are like, "Yeah, I was trying to do this, but I dropped it." I haven't watched the Mitch Jones interviews. Mitch Jones and Yoni. I did DM Yoni, but I think I have to find a different way to reach out to her. I feel like she would respond, but she probably just didn't see it. Josh is great, but don't let his paranoia get to you. That's a little too late for that. Healthy gamer is fangless. Anything they would do to you would hurt them worse. I agree with that, but it doesn't mean that they won't. Did he quit or get fired? He quit. Do you like him? I don't think I'm going to answer questions about whether I like my interviewees right after they leave the stream, because if I say yes and then the next person you ask and I'm like, I don't want to talk about this, I think I'll just set a rule here. You DM'd me the Yoni vid. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. I saw that. I haven't watched it. You got to stay grounded. I don't know. I don't know if I can be grounded. Even after contacting the ethics board and releasing the video, what is the motivation to pursue legal action? I more just want, I'm not pursuing legal action. I want to interview a lawyer basically to be like, if you're an expert in malpractice, what is your take on this? Are there HIPAA violations, whatever? Like what, just trying to get as many experts from as many different possible disciplines and fields to look at this and tell me, is it fucked up? And if so, how fucked? Scorched earth. I told my wife about Dr. K, and at first she was on his side until she saw the video. She thought he was trying to make Reckful cry. Dr. K looked happy when Reckful started crying. Yeah, and the way he looks off to the chat is real fucking unnerving. Doesn't experts reviewing things cost a lot of money? No. A case like this, with it's so big and fucking out there, no, they're not gonna try to charge me a consulting fee. They're curious, especially a malpractice lawyer is gonna look at just hearing about it. They're gonna be like, is this a big fucking pinata full of money? They probably be pretty interested in seeing what's going on, I assume. I don't know. We'll see. I'll try to have them on stream. A lot of these people don't know about Twitch, so I don't know how they're gonna feel, but I'll invite them on. Keep speaking your truth. The criticisms we've seen are all very substantial so far. Just be careful to leaving yourself open to slander or defamation lawsuits. I think you've got to keep all this very formal to avoid any mishaps. Yeah, absolutely. I don't. We wouldn't want a mishap. No, would we? Have you thought about contacting any more traditional media outlets about this? Yeah, I started with the Harvard Crimson. I emailed them. I don't know if they're going to be interested, but I feel like that's the Harvard student newspaper. I feel like they would be perfect for wanting to kind of dig into this, cut their teeth, kind of attack a Harvard figure. It's got all the pieces that I think they would be interested in, but I don't know if they're going to go for it. Next is going to be everybody who's written about Dr. K already. I'm going to be like, hey, you kind of fucking missed something here. So we'll see about that. What do you say to the critique that zooming in on the Twitch chat comments was bad taste? I just wanted people to see that they were there. I feel like the wall of hearts you understand, but I want you to see that there are people saying the blood is on your hands and that you're fake crying. That was not to imply that I obviously I feel those sentiments, but I'm not. That wasn't me trying to say this is the real truth. I just wanted to show the almost futility of trying to shout in the crowd while this waterfall of purple hearts is drowning out everything you say. The case against the Healthy Gamer org seems vastly more challenging to make than the one against Dr. K streaming sessions. Medical ethics have clear guidelines and are enforced by strong institution. Not so with the gray area of coaching. I think the Healthy Gamer wing of your crusade can endanger the whole thing for a very unlikely payoff. We don't know. We don't know what we're gonna find. You're making it sound like, first of all, everybody was saying this about the Dr. K interviews before I made the video, and then now people saw the video and they're like, "Oh, actually, this is really fucked up." And you made a good point. So I don't want you to think that what's happening is I've decided I'm going to make a video where I accuse Healthy Gamer of a bunch of things. And now we're going to do some research just to find out what those things are and if they make any sense. That's not how I'm approaching this. I'm saying I want to just do fact finding, investigation, look at everything I have, lay it out. Again, interview experts, employment lawyers, whoever can, any current past employees of Healthy Gamer, see what's there and then see what it means. And like, I might make a video just saying, here's what I found. It's basically nothing. I might make a video saying I found this nefarious shit. It might just be a little essay I write in a twit longer. I don't know. I'm just looking into it. That's all. Okay. I'm going to read my donation. I think there's only one. Yes, my one donation from Plush. Thank you for $1. Hey, Mr. Girl. Love the stuff. I'm finally getting my braces off next month. I can't wait to start again. Love the stuff. Thanks, Plush. Thanks for your support. Yep. Well, that's exactly how you're making it look like at the moment. Well, that's not how it is at the moment. It just looks like that. Okay. I think once Dr. K goes down, HG will go with it. Yeah, I think so too. Stay the course. He is the head of the dragon. Yeah, I don't think there's a Healthy Gamer. I think Healthy Gamer is monetizing parasocial like infatuation with Dr. K. I was thinking they could sell the business, but I don't. Does that even make any sense? I feel like Healthy Gamer is Dr. K in a way. Read my donation. I read almost all of it. All right. Thank you for attending my stream. Let's see if yep, she's on. She's still streaming. Doesn't read the whole donation. Can't wait to start sucking dick again. Love the stuff. Oh yeah, leak the contract. Thank you. You knew I was gonna forget. Auntie Starfucker, that's right. Thank you. Oh, tomorrow is the Dr. K fans respond. I think we've got a decent number in line. I think there's eight or so who are going to come on and talk to me. They can either ask me questions, we can argue, or I can just listen to them. So I think we're going to have 8 people come on and give feedback, criticism, responses, arguments about the Dr. K video. So if you're interested in that, I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. EST.